Hello soulmates, welcome to my channel. I am Folashade. I'm excited to share my first pattern drafting video. We will be recreating this Vekee dress which has some tricky details, but I will guide you through it step by step. This video is focused on pattern and the next video will cover the sewing, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. If you are ready to recreate this style, keep watching. First thing you do is to fold your pattern paper by using hip divided by 4 plus 6 inches. After folding your pattern, you measure the length of the dress. The length of the dress I'm working with is 38. So I'll measure 38 and roll it across. So the next thing is to measure your back. The back I'm working with is 8.5. So you measure that and you come down by 1.5 inch for the shoulder slope. And then you measure your neck width. The neck width I'm working with is 4.5. So after measuring that, you use your ruler to connect your shoulder slope to the neck width. So next is to measure the armhole. The armhole I'm working with is 8.75 and you measure it from the slope. After taking that, you measure it from the beginning of the paper and also measure from the beginning of the paper there to have a straight line and connect it across. So after that, measure your shoulder width. The shoulder you measured on top, bring it down to have a straight line and connect it as well. So next is to divide the armhole into 2 and note the midpoint of the armhole. On the midpoint, you go in by 0.75. And on the angle 90, you go up diagonally by 1 inch and you connect with your ruler. So just make sure your armhole ruler fits perfectly before connecting or manipulate it around it. Now the next thing is to take our vertical measurements. All vertical measurements will start from the neck width and we'll take the bust point measurement first. The bust point I'm working with is 11 inches. So you take it around and connect it. I'm always doing this so as to avoid slanted line. All lines must be straight. Next is the under bust measurement. The under bust measurement I'm using is 14.5. So you take that and you roll it across as well. Next is to measure the waistline. The waistline I'm working with is 18. Don't forget that all your vertical measurements should start from your neck width. So note that in like 3 places and roll it across to avoid slanted lines. So now measure your hip length. From your waistline down, measure 9 inches and roll it across. So now that we have our vertical measurement intact, let's take our dart. So to take our dart is bust span divided by 2. So the bust span I'm working with is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So you note 4 on the under bust, 4 on the bust point, 4 on the waist. On the bust point, come down by 1 inch. Connect the lines and on the waist, you measure 4 or 5 inches so as to extend your dart down a bit. At that point, make sure you measure your bust span so as to avoid slanted line and connect the line. Oh, I forgot, I didn't label my pattern. So label the chest line, the bust point, the under bust and the waistline. After doing this, we'll measure the dart. On the waistline, you go in by 0.5 on the left, 0.5 on the right. And also on the under bust, you go in 0.5 on the right, 0.5 on the left. And you connect the darts by using your ruler. So now let's take our side dart. To take our side dart, on the bust point, you go out by 1 inch and you come down by 2 inches on by the side. You connect it with the ruler. Now let's measure the horizontal measurement. Please, before you take your bust dart, please measure your horizontal measurement first. I forgot to take mine, that's why. My calculated bust is 12.5. That's bust divided by 4 plus 2. 12.5. Next is the under bust. My calculated under bust is 10.25. That's under bust divided by 4 plus 2. While my waist is 10. Calculated waist divided by 4 plus 2. So to the hip, calculated hip is hip divided by 4 plus 2, and mine is 13.25. So because the hip is not fitted, we'll have to add extra 3 inches to have that bulgy effect on the style. So you add 3 inches to this, and whatever you have on this hip, that's what you take to the full length part. So, and that is that for the horizontal measurement of the style. So now connect the sides together. So now that we have connected the horizontal lines together, go back to the bust dart and retake the 2 inches. After taking the 2 inches, locate the middle, which is 1 inch, and connect to the bust point. So for the side darts, before you cut that part, you have to close the side first, then cut it. So now if you notice that the style is asymmetrical, so the sides are not the same, both the neck and the down part, so your pattern should be unfold. And to get what you have drafted on this side to appear on the other side, you have to use a tracing wheel to trace this part so that it will appear on the other part of the pattern. So let's trace the pattern out. If you don't have a tracing wheel, you can make use of your pen by shading it so that it will appear on the other part of the pattern and you trace it out, or you remeasure the other part. So but for it to be equal, the best thing is to use a tracing wheel or your pen. So this dart, you have to take it down by measuring your bust span divided by 2. Connect it with a ruler and use your tracing wheel to trace it so as to make it appear on the other part. So now let's cut out the pattern. So don't forget, while cutting out the pattern, when you get to the bust dart, don't cut out that place. Leave a little bit of space and close the dart before cutting that part. Connect the broken lines and use your tracing wheel to trace it so as to appear on the other part before you cut. So after cutting, you open up the paper and you connect the lines that you traced earlier. So now that you have connected the lines, let's work on the neck. So this is the neck width. From the upper part of the paper, you come down by 6.5 because I don't want the cleavage to show, or any part of the boobs, I don't want it to show. So 6.5 will be fine. You make a straight line from there. So I decided to come down a bit by 0.5. So I roll a straight line to indicate that as well. For the symmetrical neckline, one part will come to the dart side to come straight, and the other one will be slanted. So let's connect the one that will go to the dart. It will stop at the 7 inches that we measured. Remember that the down part is asymmetrical as well. So where the neck asymmetric goes to, that's where the down part asymmetric will go to as well. So note that, don't do it on the other part. So you go up by 5 inches and you connect. I remember that I didn't curve the edges of the gown, so you have to curve the edges of the gown by going up by 2 inches and slant it with your ruler. Cut that off. That will give it a curvy shape. It won't be sharp at the edge. So for the front, connect the edge to the 5 inches that you just measured with your curve ruler, not straight, with your curve ruler. Connect the other side as well and cut that place off. let's cut out the neck. Next thing is to connect the dart to the neck and cut out this one side. So you will cut out this dart. By cutting out this dart, and if you join it back, it will give your cloth a beautiful shape. So cut it out as shown. And now we have our front pattern intact. Let's draft our back pattern. To draft the back pattern, your paper doesn't have to be on fold because the back design is not symmetrical. So first thing you will do is to mark your zipper allowance. After marking your zipper allowance, you will mark your length. The length that we used was 38. Remember that the wideness of the paper would be your hip divided by 4 plus 6. Now mark the back width, which was 8.5. From the 8.5, you come down by 1 inch. You slope your back with 1 inch, not 1.5. So after coming down with 1 inch, you will measure your neck width. The neck width we used was 4.5, and you connect your shoulder slope to your neck width. Next thing you do is to mark your armhole. The armhole we used was 8.75. After doing that, locate your chest line and connect them with your ruler. Now locate the middle of the armhole, go in by 0.5, and on the angle 90, go up diagonally by 1 inch and connect this with your armhole curve. Now let's take the vertical measurement. Locate the bust point 11 inches and locate the waist. The back half length is 16 inches. The difference between the front and the back when I measured was 2 inches. So that's why we have the bust darts in the front. So the difference between your back measurement and your front measurement, that's what you will measure for your bust dart. So this client's measurement for the front is 18, while the back is 16. So measure the hip length, come down from your waist down, that's 9 inches from your waist down, and connect it. Now let's take the horizontal measurement. The bust divided by 4 plus 2, 12.5, and the waist is 10 inches. The hip divided by 4 plus 2, you insert it and you add extra 3 inches for the ease. That was the same thing we did for the front. Then connect with your ruler. Don't forget the measurement you have on your hip, that's what you take down to the length of your dress. After that, you measure the dart. You do the same thing we did for the front by measuring your bust span divided by 2. Take it on the bust point, take it on the waist, and take 0.5 on both sides and connect it together. Let's measure the back neckline. You can come down a bit than the front for the back. I came down by 8 inches for the back and connect it with your curve ruler. Don't use the sharp edge, use the curved part of the curve ruler to connect the V line. Don't forget to label your pattern. So after you label, let's do the back tightening. For the back, to remove the zip bulge, there are 2 things you would do. The first thing is to go in by 0.5 on the waist, connect it to the neck part, and down part connect it to the hip line, and you cut that off. So the second thing to do is on the waistline, you go up by 0.5 and come down by 0.5, and you connect it to the side as shown. So now let's cut. You cut as shown. And this zip budge elimination part, watch as I cut it. You slant a part and you cover it up with the other one and you use your tape to hold it. You won't cut it finish, and that is it. So now let's measure the side of both the front and the back for you to be sure that it's really aligned. So let's check. This is the front pattern and you place it on the back pattern. The front pattern is a bit curvy because of the dart elimination that we did in the front, but they are the same. Use your table as well. Measure the front pattern. My front pattern here to the waist is 7 inches and the back is 7 inches. So that means they are the same, and that's that for the pattern drafting of this dress. In the next video, we'll walk through the process of cutting and joining these pieces together. Thank you for watching. Until next time, bye.